Hello, math people. Say, have you ever gone to solve an equation and then you saw a fraction in it and you're like, oh man, fractions in an equation? I hate fractions in an equation. Well, have I got a deal for you? So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to solve an equation when there are fractions involved by skillfully removing the fractions. So, this is going to be great. First thing you want to do is take a look at your equation, like this first one. 1/3 x minus 6 equals 2/3. So what you need to do is you are going to multiply everything. You're going to multiply everything, every term in your equation by the least common denominator. Okay? So what's the least common denominator here? Well, we've got a 3 and we've got a 3. So obviously our least common denominator is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything on both sides of the equal sign by 3. Every term. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 1/3 x. I'm going to multiply 3 times negative 6. And I'm going to multiply 3 times 2/3 on the other side of the equal sign. So 3/1 times 1/3 x plus 3 times negative 6 equals 3/1 times 2/3. See, I've multiplied 3 by every term in that equation. Now, 3/1 times 1/3 is 3/3 x, and then 3 times negative 6 is negative 18, so plus negative 18, that's just minus 18. And 3/1 times 2/3, that's 6/3. So multiply fractions straight across. Now, 3/3 is, well, that's just 1, right? 1x minus 18 equals, and 6/3, 6 divided by 3, that's 2. So 1x minus 18 is 2. We're almost there. Now remember, 1 times x is just x. So this is just x minus 18 equals 2. All right, well, now we've removed all the fractions, and we're down to a really simple equation. X minus 18 equals 2. So I'm going to use SADMAP, right? I'm going to undo the adding or subtracting of any constant. And so I see negative 18 is my constant, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides, and x equals 2 plus 18 is 20. And we're done, right? We found it. X is 20. So now, if we want, we can check our equation by putting that 20 back in to the original equation where x was. X is now 20. So that would be 1/3 times 20 minus 6 equals 2/3. We can check to see if it's right. 1/3 times 20/1 is 20/3 minus 6/1 equals 2/3. Got to have a common denominator. Common denominator will be 3, so this will be still 20/3. Common denominator here of 3, that will be times 3 times 3. That's 6 times 3 is 18. So 20/3 minus 18/3. And that does equal 2/3. 2/3 equals 2/3. We're good. Okay? So we did it. We solved an equation by getting rid of the fraction by multiplying by the least common denominator in the fraction. So let's take a look at another example. Here we have 3/4 multiplied by x minus 5 equals negative 3/2. Now this one's kind of tricky because you see that 3/4 is being multiplied by x minus 5. Okay, so that means that this whole piece is one term. Okay, because it's all being multiplied together. A term are things that are being multiplied together, and so this is all one term. So what I'm going to do, again, we're going to multiply by the least common denominator. And the least common denominator of 4 and 2. Well, 2 goes into 4, and 4 goes into 4, so 4 has to be the least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything in here by 4. By 4. Okay, so that means I'm multiplying 4 times this term. And remember, everything on this side is a term because we've got this distribution happening. And I have to multiply 4 times negative 3/2. So multiply 4 over 1 times 3/4, x minus 5 in parentheses equals 4 over 1 times negative 3/2. Okay, so, oops, there we go. Now, 4 times 3 is 12, 1 times 4 is 4, times x minus 5 equals, now this is a positive times a negative, so that's negative. 4 times 3 is 12, 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, we're almost there. 12 over 4, that's 3. And we keep the x minus 5 in parentheses. And this is negative 12 over 2, and that's 6. Now we can start to solve. We'll do the distribution here. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 equals negative 6. Now we're at SADMAP time. SADMAP time. SADMAP. Okay. Undo the adding or subtracting of any constant. The constant is negative 15. So we're going to add 15, add 15. Those cancel each other out, and I get 3x equals negative 6 plus 15. That's 9. Negative 6 plus 15 is 9. And now I undo the division or multiplication of the coefficient, and that's 3, because that's what's being multiplied by x. I undo the multiplication by dividing by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times x is just x. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. There's our solution. X equals 3. Now, if you want to make sure your answer is correct, of course, you put it back into the original equation. So we'll do that right over here. 4/3 times 3 minus 5 equals negative 3/2. Okay, well, let's see here. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 times 4/3 equals negative 3/2. Negative 2 over 1. Okay. Now, oh, sorry, 4/3, 3/4. 3/4. What was I thinking? 3/4. Okay, now 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4, and that's negative because multiplying negative times positive. Negative 3/2. Let's see, negative 6/4. If I divide both of those by 2, I would get negative 3/2 equals negative 3/2. So it checks out. Everything's good. All right? So remember, to get rid of fractions in an equation before you can start to solve, because if you want to get rid of those fractions, this is how you do it. You multiply every term. Multiply every term. Whoops. Multiply every term by the least common denominator. All right, I hope this helps. Have a great day. Don't forget to be awesome. We'll see you next time.